His divine power has given us everything, oh, everything we need for life and godliness, through our knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness. He has given everything for life and godliness, through our knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness.
All right, good morning. Here we go. We are glad you're here, and this is the place you need to be, and that's worshiping the Lord. So thanks for being here this morning. If you've just joined us or if you haven't been with us over the last few weeks, we are looking at leadership. And so as the last few folks come streaming in, our focus has been on leadership, and leadership is simply doing things for God, right? Doing things for His purpose, influencing others so that we can help them see God and to help them see His Son. And so we'll be looking at that once again from the Old Testament, this concept of leadership. And so that's where we're going. Behind me on the screen, it's just a reminder. We'll change it here pretty soon, but it's just so fitting that we are a people who serve others. That identifies us. It's like that's what we're supposed to be doing. And so if you wonder, what's church all about? What are Christians all about? What are we supposed to be doing in this world? It's just that not so subtle reminder right behind me that, well, we're involved in serving others, aren't we? And this congregation does that extremely well.
All right, everyone, grab those Bibles. Here we go. Nehemiah, no less. We're going to be in the book of Nehemiah. I'm telling you all the way at the beginning of the sermon so that you can find it, because it's probably been a while since you went to Nehemiah chapter 7. So here we go. Nehemiah chapter 7. Thanks for meeting someone. Hopefully you met someone you didn't know. And here we go. We are looking at God's Word, Nehemiah chapter 7. If you were not with us last week, this is really a set of lessons. And so we're talking about, if you're kind of new or just don't know what we're doing, we are looking at leadership and the fact that all of us can be leaders. This is a set, really, that goes together within our series. We're looking at Moses and Nehemiah, just one lesson each. Last week, we looked at Moses, and thank you very much, Michael. You never know where these clickers end up. And so, Moses, what was the point of Moses last week? It really comes down to one thing, that Moses questioned why he needed to be the one to go to Egypt when he was 80 years old. And God, of course, is looking at him in the burning, talking with him in the burning bush, from the burning bush. And remember what Moses did? What was his number one excuse? It's like, basically, I can't do it. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I'm not able. I don't have enough skills. I don't know how to talk, all that kind of stuff. And what was God's response? He said, enough with the excuses. I will be with you. So, this is fundamental leadership stuff. It's like, what does God look for when He's trying to find someone who can influence others for His cause? He's looking for someone who will be willing and who will understand that He is with them. So that's the prerequisite. Do you believe God is with you? It's not about your skills. There's so many things it's not about, right? There is so much that we think leadership, it must be like this before we can be a leader. And God says, none of that's important. Remember how He ended it. It's like, don't make me angry, Moses. It's like, you're the leader. Now get going. And then this morning, we're going to go to Nehemiah. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you could take everything I'm about to talk about for the next 15 minutes, you really could summarize it like this. It's not anywhere in the notes or anything. It's just, it's what it is. It's what God is saying to Nehemiah, to us this morning, through this book. He's saying leadership is about people, period. There is nothing else about leadership except people. It's not about your skills. It's not about what you're going to do. It's not about how much you impart from your brain or anything else. It's about people. And so when we think about Moses, who's like, I can't do this, and God says, I'll be with you. So that's the first half of it. God is with us. The second half of it is, now we can go be with people. So we'll kind of put that out there. Jesus, of course, 33, he's already going to die on the cross. He's been beat up and all this stuff. We know the story, right? And he finally gets to the cross, and he dies on the cross. And what does he say to his followers? He doesn't want us to take pity on him. It's not about, right? It's not about feeling sorry for Jesus. What does he say to us? He says, make my life count. That's what he's saying to us. Make my life, my death on the cross, count. So that's his goal, his purpose. It's for people to be a part of the kingdom. Okay, so that's our introduction there. Now here's what I want you to do. And as always, some of you really excel at this, and some of us get stuck on the words, and you know who you are, the engineers that are in here. And so we're going to do it. Last week, I made you do poetry. I'm so sorry. I know that discombobulated some of you, but the point was we need to slow down and pay attention every so often. And this week, we're going to use our imagination. I put some words up there because I know some of you need to see it in text. You're the CEO of a vast company. You have wealth and resources beyond most people's imagination. I know some of you can dream big, and so you just start thinking it through. You've got hundreds of millions of dollars at your disposal. You've got enough cash to buy all the airlines at once, whatever level you're thinking. Your dad was the CEO of this company before you, with huge amounts of resources. He's trained you, gave you everything you knew. He set you up. You married one of the richest women outside your own family's wealth in all the world. They're pegging you at $100 million a year as your base salary. Your brothers and sisters all make $50 million a year each. They're in control of all the major points across the company around the world. And God comes to you and says to you, oh, by the way, you've got this whole board of directors that's provided you with massive amounts of wisdom to run this company for many years. Your dad, of course, dies. You're the CEO. How do you make your life count? You've got the money, the power, the ability, the family, the connections. How do you make your life count? So, what's in your imagination? Like, how would you make your life count in that moment? Whoever it is you've imagined yourself to be that's right here in this world today. When you die, of course, there'd be so many people that would attend your funeral. They'd have to show it on television, right? Because you were such a blessing to so many people's lives. Okay, let me tell you what really happened. There really was a guy like that, all right? It's found in the Old Testament. And what really happened was he became king for 8 years, and in 8 short years, he basically destroyed the economy, wasted all the money, killed off every last family member, brother and sister both, to make sure he would not have any competitors